welcome. My name is Danielle, and I am so glad you're here. Today, I have a nice full-length yin class prepared where we're going to focus on our shoulders, working on some shoulder mobility. So if you're somebody that has some tightness in their shoulders, maybe you're sitting at a desk all day hunched over, maybe you just feel a little stiff when you're trying to move your shoulders around, this is going to be a great sequence to help you develop and open your shoulders over time. So if you're new to yin classes, it's a little bit different than a vinyasa class where we're moving, faster pace, breath by breath. We're going to do just a few poses and hold them for about 5 minutes each. So part of the challenge is mental, is staying in that pose for the full 5 minutes or so that we do. And part of the challenge is staying calm, relaxing the body, keeping the stretch in the connective tissues and the joints instead of our muscles. So it's surprisingly challenging, even though it seems simple. And hopefully, no matter what you're looking for today, you can get something out of it. Really, all you need is a mat. But if you would like some blocks, they can be helpful to kind of lift your hands up a bit, or a strap just to help make some of the poses more accessible. I'll have a strap handy for one sequence at the end. Otherwise, let's grab what you need. Maybe put on some nice calm music in the background, and we will get started in child's pose. All right, so I got my strap handy. If you have blocks, you're having them handy. And I'm gonna go ahead and start our timer. It's gonna be our bells to signal when it's time to move. All right, so that is our signal to start to get into it. We're gonna begin in child's pose. So we got a couple of variations, a couple of options today. You can walk your hands in front of you, surrendering the head down. Your hands can be on the ground, or if you'd like to have blocks, this would be a great place to put blocks right now. Lift them up a little bit to get deeper into your shoulders. And I think for today, if you're gonna walk your hands out, maybe spread your knees wider to really give you some space to lower the chest, the forehead down. And really trying to focus on bringing your heart, making contact with the earth. That's really going to kind of get into your shoulders. And so if you're in this pose and you have those blocks lifting up, you're bringing your heart down. For me today, I would rather round my shoulders a bit more. So I'm going to bring my knees together, start to come down, and bring my hands behind me, palms probably facing up, and just bringing the forehead down. This is also a great place for a block if you'd like to have a block for your forehead. So pick whatever shape you're hoping to find and just start to settle in. So with me, with my hands behind me, I'm really trying to focus on making my shoulders grow heavy, making sure my microphone is still available to you, hearing everything properly. So here we are for about 5 minutes here at the beginning, just starting to bring our attention, our focus into our bodies. So breath by breath, we're trying to soften into this pose. If your hands are stretched in front of you, can you focus on surrendering in, pressing the chest down? Just gently though, not forcing it, not going to a point of pain. If your hands are reaching back like mine are, really focusing breath by breath on dropping the shoulders down, really rounding. Can we feel the shoulders growing heavy? In either option, we are breathing into our back body, feeling space between the vertebrae, really trying to open up that spine. And this is a great time here at the beginning to start to inquire, start to reflect on yourself, on your body. What does your body need today? What does your mind want? And can you bring those two in balance? This is a moving meditation where we're trying to bring harmony to our mats in the hopes of bringing harmony to our lives. So breath by breath, softening in, trying to find a bit more balance, a bit more space. Guess we're over halfway through this pose at this point. So maybe starting to notice, how do you feel now as we've been in it a bit? Noticing, how is your mind responding with this stillness? Are we resisting it? Are we embracing it? It's just a moment to be curious, not judge yourself, good or bad, whatever your body, your mind is doing, that's okay. But just acknowledging yourself and giving yourself a little bit more space here. Maybe focusing on some deep belly breaths, really feeling the breath as it enters in and growing a little heavier as it flows out. And there is our signal to move. We're gently going to start to walk ourselves up, coming into tabletop, and then shifting the hips forward. We're going to set up for a cobra or sphinx pose. So first, checking in with our tail, getting that nice strong cobra tail here. Legs are squeezing in together, and the tops of the feet are pressing in. We're going to take our hands out in front of us, palms facing down. Arms are parallel, not in or out. Rolling the shoulders down and back. So we're going to stay here in the Sphinx pose, lifting the heart, pressing down in our elbows to extend the crown of the head tall. You can stay with this. And this is also a place, if you want some blocks under your elbows, that's a beautiful option. You can also walk your hands out more in front of you and press in if you want your arms to be more dynamic. But if we're holding it a couple of minutes, I always find having those elbows grounding down just makes it a little bit more manageable to get through it. So we're lifting up, rolling the shoulder blades down the back. Both feet are pressing into the floor. Maybe the gaze is at the tip of the nose. Maybe we're closing the eyes. Nice slow breaths here as we're continuously lifting the chest up. Feeling the stretch between the collarbones, the stretch maybe on your lower abs, because depending on how high we're lifting up. And your hands are active. They're pressing into the floor, really grounding you down, making sure that your arms, your roots are stable. And then breath by breath, where can we soften? Maybe remembering bringing your navel to the spine, your belly button is in, keeping your core a little engaged, keeping that spine safe. Rolling the shoulders down and back. As you start to settle in, you might find yourself sinking down. So recommit. We are growing tall, regal stance in our chest, in our head. And breathing through it. Maybe lifting the chin higher, maybe tucking the chin and starting to surrender the head down as we're still lifting up through the shoulders. Just give it a slightly different stretch in the pose, but still continuously lifting the heart as if we're trying to pull the chest through the arms. Just changing the stretch the deeper we get into it. Rolling the shoulders down the back. Just a little over a minute left. So recommit if you need to make some adjustments. And then focusing in. We can do this for just a few more moments. The hard part is still to come, right? This is just the warm-up poses. So give yourself some space and grace. Maybe rolling the neck from side to side a little bit as we're still lifting through the shoulders. Just changing the stretch a little bit. Maybe noticing what you're feeling. I feel some burning in my shoulder blades. It's definitely doing the work here. So maybe just a little bit of movement in other parts of the body will help distract you and keep you in the pose a little bit longer. And deep belly breaths here at the end. All right, then we're going to release. So walking your hands underneath you and start to lower the chest down. We're going to go into a bit of a scorpion twist here on the side. So we're going to extend your left hand out to the side to start to press into the right hand to push yourself over to your side. You want your left arm coming straight out parallel with the top of your mat. And then we're just going to start to roll over on the side. So that hand is pressing down on the floor. You're going to make sure your arm is active, it's working. Maybe coming up onto your side to where you can take that right leg and ground it down. It might be in front of you. It might be behind you. Just playing with it. You can also keep it straight. Just whatever feels right. I always find grounding that foot down gives me a little bit more stability, especially towards the end. And we're really focusing on opening our chest to the side of the mat. One day, shoulders will be stacking on top of each other. And again, if you do this pose, vinyasa classes, you might be able to go a little bit deeper depending on your muscles, your flexibility. But I'm doing this pretty cold and I'm on the cold ground. So I was getting into my ligaments and it's definitely tight. So you might be staying here. You might be able to take your right hand behind you. Maybe grab the back, the arm one day. Maybe as we get into this pose, get a little more into it, you can make adjustments. But we're really trying to soften in once we get our depth and really feel the stretch, the work happening in that left shoulder. And not trying to resist it, trying to soften and letting the stretch do the work. Maybe closing the eyes, softening the jaw, softening the brow. This helps keeping you from holding. And just sending the breath to wherever you need it in this moment. We've been in it for a minute or so at this point, so reassess. Do I need to make some micro adjustments? Make myself a little bit more comfortable, so that way I'm not resisting it as much. And then coming back to the breath. With every inhale, can I find a little bit more softness? And every exhale, can I find a little bit more space? Maybe as you're opening up a bit, as we're in towards the end, you can roll the shoulders back a little bit more. Get just a little bit deeper in the stretch. But checking in with our core, making sure that navel to spine, just that slight constriction in your core muscles, keeping your body safe. Can I soften in just a little bit more here at the end? Coming back to your breath. The breath is keeping you present in this moment. Feeling the air on the inhale, the cool air through the nostrils, and the warm air flowing out on the exhales. And then we start to release, going into our counter pose. So we just did that little floor scorpion, opening the shoulder. We're going to close it in. It's going back into our belly down pose here, lifting ourselves up. We're going to do a bit of a thread the needle. So if you would like to come into it traditionally as we're coming to your knees, and inhale, lifting up, and then exhale, walking that left arm under. You can go in this way, bringing the temple down, the shoulder down, and just settling in. But I like to do it to be able to soften into the pose. I like to stay on my belly, just push myself up, take that left hand and just start to walk it under. And then lower back down as if we're kind of laying on our shoulders. So either option on this one. I find that just laying on my arm a bit really helps me square my right shoulder down. So I'm really focusing the stretch on the outside of my shoulder. So if you're taking this variation with me, your left hand is pressing down on the earth, keeping that arm active. And you're focusing on rotating your chest over to the right to try to keep your shoulders square with the earth. And then maybe reaching that right hand forward, pressing down and really focusing on pressing the right shoulder down. So if you might be up higher, you might have to be all the way up here, just depending on your mobility. Trying to feel that stretch wherever we can, and then settling in for the duration of this hold. We're trying to feel the stretch kind of on the outside of the shoulder. So making some micro adjustments. And breathing into that left shoulder and softening in. Maybe closing the eyes. Maybe noticing your breath in this pose, in this variation. On every inhale, the breath expands the belly, lifts you up a little bit, easing the stretch. And every exhale, it sinks the belly down, kind of intensifying the stretch a bit. So maybe just play with that for a little bit, noticing the sensation. Noticing what thoughts are coming up as we're holding in this pose. Where is there discomfort? We're over halfway through. Maybe recommitting as you're getting into it, getting a little bit deeper, Really pressing that left hand down, left arm down, squaring the shoulders with the right hand. And just giving yourself some space to just be in this moment. Trying not to think. I know it's hard. I'm probably thinking about chores you gotta do, errands you gotta run, emails, texts you gotta respond to. And just do your breath to tune it out. There's nothing but you and your mat and your breath in this moment. Down to the final minutes. So maybe noticing where has the stretch moved since you started in this pose. I can definitely feel it, and the deeper it's kind of moved down my shoulder a bit as we're opening up and getting into those deep, deep tissues. And softening in here for the last 20 seconds. And maybe surrendering the head a bit. Just noticing what that does. All right, then gently starting to walk that right hand back. Unwrap, unwind your left arm, maybe shake it out. And then we will go into the other side. So first I gotta move over a bit, don't quite have room for my arm on this side. We're extending our right arm out in front of us. One gets straight out from the shoulder socket. And starting to take that left hand, pressing us back. Starting to get into that little floor scorpion twist from the other side. So taking a moment to feel it out. That right hand is pressing down, grounding down into the earth. Maybe your left foot is coming, I guess you can still stay, side to side if that's what you need. Your right hand is pressing down, your left hand supporting you. Maybe taking that left leg, grounding down behind. Maybe grounding it down in front. Whatever feels good today. Maybe a little bit more behind you. Just finding the place where you can find some comfort. And again, that left hand can be propping you up, maybe tensing the fingers, maybe pressing the palm down, or maybe going behind you. If you're doing that, it does kind of get into that left shoulder a bit. And since we've already been working it, that feels a little bit too, just a little bit more discomforting since I've already worked it a bit. So I'm going to keep my left hand in front of me, but really working on just pressing a little bit back to try to get my shoulders stacked on top of each other one day. Rolling that left shoulder blade down the back, keeping the shoulders away from the ear. And finding some space and breath in this moment. We're 2 minutes in. So what are you feeling now as we're coming to that stillness? Where do you feel the stretch? Maybe closing the eyes and just taking a body scan of what am I feeling in this moment? What am I really feeling in this moment? And then finding a little bit more softness. As we're holding it a bit, your muscles, your body will get a little bit more space. So can you make some micro adjustments? Get a little bit deeper. And soften in just a little bit more. hips back a little bit more. Gives you a little bit more depth, maybe walking that left leg back a little bit. Let you get just a little bit deeper in the shoulder at the end. We got a little over a minute and a half, so still plenty of time to play and explore what feels good. And then resisting the urge to hold the muscles. The more you can soften and relax in this pose, the deeper the stretch is going to get. So not just in your arm, right? We're stretching the right arm. That is true. But if you can soften, right? I feel my leg is tensing a bit to brace me. Can I soften my leg? Can I soften my feet? Your whole body is working in concert to keep you in this pose. So softening the whole body is the key to unlocking this pose. We're in the home stretch here, 30 seconds. All right, and then you release. So gently start to roll yourself back onto your belly. You wiggle that right arm out a bit. And then setting up for our thread the needle on the other arm. So again, you can come up onto tabletop and bring it under, but I like to stay on my belly. Take my right arm, just start to slide it underneath the left. Start to bring your right shoulder down, and you're really pressing that whole arm all the way from your fingertips to your shoulder, pressing it into the floor. Then taking that left hand, walking it out in front, trying to bring the left shoulder down, trying to kind of stack your shoulders square with the earth. So then imagining you're really kind of rolling the body onto your left side to kind of keep your shoulders square. And that's going to change the stretch. And so feeling it out for a couple of breaths. What micro adjustments can I make? Maybe walking your arm forward a little bit. We want the stretch to be on the outside of the shoulder. And you're making those adjustments, making sure you can hear me through my mic. Okay. And when you have it starting to soften in. So continuously rolling over onto your side to really focus the stretch. Pressing both palms into the earth. Grounding down. And then trying to soften and find space. Tend to hold a lot of tension all throughout the body. So continuously reminding yourself to soften. Softening in the jaw, softening in the toes. All throughout, that's the key to really unlocking depth over time. We're about halfway through. So we're kind of reassessing. Maybe noticing the difference from this side and the other. I'm definitely less open on my right side, which surprises me, but that's okay. No judgment, just noticing. And maybe taking a moment to reflect on what patterns in your day-to-day life, what habits are creating that asymmetry. Softening in here. Recommit Maybe playing with the positioning of the head, lifting it up high or tilting the head down. And then again, those big belly breaths. See as the movement of those inhales and exhales moves the body. How does that move the stretch ever so slightly? And down to our final minute. Maybe make some last adjustments if you need to. Playing a little bit more. And really giving yourself some space to find comfort however you can in this last few moments. And then we release. So walking that left hand back out, giving you the space to maybe roll to the side, roll out, start to shake out your right arm. And then we are going to come to seated to get ourselves into a cow face Gomukhasana pose. So starting off, we're trying to get our legs one on top of each other, trying to get our knees on top one day. Bring our heels to our sides and then just kind of starting to walk your feet out in front of you. One day they will come to parallel, but you go until you feel the stretch. So if you need them back here and that's where you feel it, that's where you pause, but just walking yourself into a comfortable seat where you can still stay grounded. Then we're going to take our hands up in front of us. And then on your exhale, we're going to take your right hand down and around behind you, trying to grab on behind your back. And then that left hand is going to reach down, trying to grab on. So this is a great place if you need a strap, taking that strap in your left hand and then the right hand coming behind it and pulling it. And I'm actually going to turn around so you can kind of see my hands a bit better. So I have my left leg is on top, so my left arm is coming up for this side. We're reaching down, right hand is trying to find that strap. And then when we have it, we're pulling equal and opposite. And then maybe slowly kind of walking your hand up over time. Or if you have the flexibility, you can go ahead and maybe grab your shirt. You can also do that. Or one day you'll be able to grab your fingers. So whatever connection you need to make, that's what you're going to take. And then on every inhale, we're focusing on lifting that left elbow up to the sky and focusing on drawing that right elbow down. So we are pulling equal and opposite, and then really lifting, broadening through the chest, softening in. Maybe staying with this for a couple of breaths, lifting up. And then maybe starting to hinge forward just a little bit. Starting to hinge at the hips to bring that upper body down. So now I'm going to flip back forward so I can see you and I can see the time. So again, we're settling in. We are about halfway through the pose already. So we're breathing in. So really trying to focus on, instead of rounding in the spine, we're finding length in the spine. Imagining cow's breath almost, a little bitty baby back bend, and then hinging forward. If you want to, you're perfectly welcome to stay up, but if you want to hinge at the hips and kind of feel a little bit of stretch in your hips as well, you're welcome to it. I find that really gives me kind of space to use my head. I'm pushing my head back into my left arm to really help remind me to lift up. And we're continuously pulling ever so gently with both hands to keep our joints safe. We're much safer stretching in an active joint than a relaxing joint. So maybe checking in with our feet. Maybe you can wiggle them out just a little bit more. Maybe you can hinge a little bit forward. We got a little over a minute left. So whatever you need to really feel a stretch for a few more breaths. And then when you find your edge, that's where you soften, not pushing past it, and relax into this pose. Maybe softening your jaw, softening the forehead. With every inhale, can grow a little bit taller, lift that chest. And every exhale, sinking your weight down, feeling yourself growing heavy, rooting down into the earth. "20 seconds left. You got this." Giving yourself space. All right, then gently we start to release our arms and then extending them north to south. We're going to take our arms off to the side and go into some eagle arms. So my left leg is over, so I'm going to start to bring my left arm under. And you can start by just maybe grabbing your shoulders, and that might be enough sensation. You can start to go more further, maybe starting to bring your hands to your forearms, maybe one day being able to grasp one hand, both hands, whatever mobility you have today, take it. Maybe one day they can kind of make it towards prayer. And we're really focusing on locking in that upper body. So we're drawing the elbows in, simultaneously lifting the chest up. So that's equal and opposite actions in your upper body there. And maybe staying here, maybe taking a little bit of time to play. Maybe on your inhales, lifting the elbows up away from the chest, and exhales, rounding them back in. Just kind of seeing how that feels in the shoulders, moving with your breath for a few rounds. Just starting to get yourself into it. And then as you feel ready, as you feel warmed, settling in. But really drawing the shoulder down at the back, drawing the elbows in. Maybe pulling the hands away from the chest, maybe drawing them in, just micro adjustments. And then when you have that, just hold. Every inhale, grow a little taller. Every exhale, draw the shoulder blades down. Maybe staying up tall if you want to play with hinging forward again, feeling some stretch in the hips as well. You're welcome to it. We don't have to just work our shoulders today. And then if you do that, again, that coming down really helps remind me to arch the back, really going into that little baby back bend to lift the chest, the heart up. Just find what works for you. Almost halfway through. Imagine how much time flies, right, when you're trying to not be uncomfortable. Maybe noticing what's coming up. What are we feeling? Maybe closing the eyes. Noticing what sensations are coming up inside. And maybe then, again, bringing that awareness to the breath on this round. Every inhale, we're filling up. Feel the chest lift as your air fills the lungs, the belly. And every exhale, feel your elbows draw in as the chest lowers down. Might not be as dynamic as a vinyasa class, but we can still move with every breath if we're just patient enough to notice. Recommitting to a strong, beautiful pose for a few more rounds, drawing the shoulder blades down, lifting the chest up, drawing the elbows in, and then softening where we can. A little over a minute left. Maybe notice where you're feeling it now. I'm definitely feeling it in my left shoulder and my right thigh. So yes, we're not doing a lot with the legs, but we are getting a little bit of a hip opener in. Got 30 seconds left. So breathing through it, recommit to be in that discomfort, but staying above pain. But we can do anything for one breath. And then recommit to do it for one breath more. And before you know it, our time will be up. All right, so unwrap those arms, maybe bring them up overhead, shake them out, wiggle them, do what you gotta do. Bring that movement back into the body, and then we're gonna go into the other side. So you could just swap out the legs, but I'm gonna do something a little bit more fun. Let's walk our hands forward and start to lift up onto our hands, and then walk our hands around, and all we're gonna do is pivot on the heels, spin all the way around, and here we are on the other side. Sorting out your hips for a moment, sort out your seat. So we're working for those Gomukhasana cow face leg pose again. So your feet can be in towards your side. If that is enough of a stretch, you can start to wiggle those feet out as much as you need to change the stretch, getting it in your hips. And then when you find your comfortable seat, committing with the arms. So inhaling, your right arm is going to be up the side. Left arm is coming behind you. And again, taking that strap if you need it with the right hand coming behind you, the left hand coming below, holding onto that strap, right? And pulling up and down, or maybe grabbing onto your shirt. If you have the mobility, trying to find those hands, interlocking with the hands and lifting up. But regardless of what your hands are holding onto, your right elbow is shooting up, your left elbow is shooting down, equal and opposites. Imagining that strong spine. Your elbows are pulling in opposite directions in line with your spine. And then as we get in there, we just settle in. So we really want to grow tall, lifting up through the heart, through the crown of the head. Maybe imagining a little cow's breath in the spine really focuses the stretch, really helps you get tall. Maybe tucking the chin a little bit helps change the stretch. And you can stay here for a few more breaths, just focusing on that equal and opposite action in your arms. Maybe leading with the heart, you can start to hinge forward just a little bit, starting to get that stretch into your hips. And if you are doing that, you're starting to press the head back into your right arm to really focus the stretch, making sure it's still active, it's still engaged, it's still reaching up. And then finding whatever comfort you can. We're over halfway. Maybe you can close the eyes, bring that attention inwards, And notice where we are feeling the stretch. Maybe notice those micro movements in your body as you are moving with your breath. Inhale, growing a little taller as the chest lifts. And exhale, lowering down just a little bit as your chest lowers. Maybe using that breath as a tool to move mindfully in those micro movements. Recommitting, drawing those elbows apart, pulling north to south. Softening the jaw, wiggling the toes, softening the toes. We're in our final minutes. So what can I learn about myself in this minute? Maybe surrendering the chin down, tucking the chin. Give you the space to grow just a little bit more taller here for our last 10 seconds. Right, let me start to release. So gently starting to release those arms. Unwrap them, unwind, bringing them outside to side, wiggle them out. And then we'll go into our eagle arms on the other side. So our right leg is on top. So our right arm is going to go under. And we might be different from side to side. That's okay. Maybe we're just grabbing our shoulders, giving ourselves a big bear hug. Maybe we're going deeper, starting to wrap the arms, grabbing maybe the forearms, maybe grabbing onto your thumb, maybe one day making it all the way into prayer hands. And then drawing the elbows in, lifting the chest up. Staying here for a few breaths, just trying to grow tall, find space, drawing the shoulder blades down the back. Maybe staying with that, or starting to lift our elbows on our inhale, draw them in on our exhale. These little dynamic movements. Just noticing how the stretch changes in our shoulders as we're doing that. Or maybe we're finding some length and then starting to hinge forward a little bit on the hips, changing the stretch in our lower body as we're focusing, targeting the stretch in the upper body. Another beautiful option. And then softening in whatever shape we're taking, giving yourself some space. Maybe noticing where you're feeling it. Are you feeling that burning heat that's telling you that the pose is working, it's doing the work? And so the work you have to do is to be comfortable in the work. Trying to soften when you feel that sensation, not pain, right? Staying above any pain, just discomfort. We're about halfway through. We're in the home stretch. This is our last pose before Savasana. So this is the last little bit of work to do. So recommit to be present in this pose. Maybe growing a little taller, drawing the shoulder blades down and softening in. Making those micro adjustments. Has our form changed? Are we slacking a bit as our muscles are fatiguing or our bodies are softening too much? We want to feel that stretch. Just a minute and 15 seconds left. What feelings, what thoughts are coming up now? Can you acknowledge them and let them be on their way? Trying not to hold on to anything in this moment. We're in the 30 seconds here, final countdown until we make it to our final Savasana. You can do it. All right, unwrap, unwind those arms, shake them out, invite that movement back in. And then all that is left to do is find your way to the floor. So swinging our legs out in front of us, maybe shifting around. So if you would like to take a more supported Savasana, you're welcome to it. If you want to come down, lift the hips. It's a great place to put a block underneath your sacrum to kind of get a supported Savasana with my back. Otherwise, I'm going to take my knees, my feet are mats width, my knees are flopping in to support each other. A little bit of a fallen bridge action here. Your hands can be by your sides, palms up to receive, or maybe taking one hand on the belly, one hand on the heart. If you really want to try to tune into your breath and what's going on the inside. And all that is left is to soften in and give yourself space to have 100% relaxation. The more you can soften in these last few moments, the more your body can assimilate all of the good work you've just done. If Savasana is calling to you, you're welcome to stay longer. If you would like to instead be guided out, keeping our eyes closed for as long as possible, just starting to invite some movement back into your fingers and toes, maybe drawing circles with the wrists, circles in the ankles. Maybe taking your hands overhead, stretching them ahead of you like a big good morning stretch. And then gently rolling over to one side. Pausing for a moment and reset that spine. Come back into neutral. And gently starting to push yourself up into a comfortable seat. So maybe taking your hands on your knees. Maybe taking your hands to heart center, rubbing them in. Feeling that warmth, that sensation. Waking up the body. And then pausing. Coming into stillness for one more time. For everything that you have shared on the mat, we all benefit off of the mat. And so taking a moment here in gratitude for yourself. And I'm so grateful for you doing the hard work. We will all benefit. So giving a moment of love and kindness to yourself. I thank you for joining me today. And until we meet on our mats again, I bow to you and say, Om Shanti, peace. Please go in peace and do the good work. Until next time.